This is how I bleed. Actually, I refreshed the fluid in the brakes, front brakes, Volvo. So this is good for bleeding, but this time I just replaced the fluid in the whole system. So first thing first, I remove the spring. This goes like that, and those pins go in there. Remove the bleeder cover. The bleeder is me who tighten it. It's not very tight. Better cleaning up a bit. This one I'm going to replace it. It's all rusted, and yeah, that's on the purchase list. Always gently. Get a plastic tube. Yeah, the fluid is not very clean. There's no air, but not clean at all. So there's a good moment to replace it. Just releasing perhaps 3/4 tons. Don't need to release more. I would like to put some of this. Like I said, I'm going to replace this one. If it's the first time you are doing this, most of the bleeders are really stuck in there. It's very hard to release them without snapping them. I prefer putting this kind of penetrating oil 2 weeks in advance, and always when I go ahead and try to remove it, I have a new one and replace it right away. Don't never put back an old one like I did now, but don't do it. I'm going into the car. The reservoir cap is removed as now, and I'm going to pump the brakes 1 inch, not more than 1 inch. It can damage the system and the valves. Pump the brakes a couple of times. The reservoir cap is removed. The fluid at this moment is topped up, but after 5 pumpings, I'm going to go out of the car and check the level in the reservoir so it doesn't drop below the minimum. And then I'll pump some more, depends how much you want to remove. Let's check the level. Forgot to put the cap. Pumping some more. So not more than 1 inch pressed, even less than 1 inch. Don't rush up. The reservoir cap is still removed. Let's check the level again. It's not bad. What I like to do now is, that's the reason I removed the spring. I should have done this before pumping the pedal. Let's do it now. This is a small trick. I have still my brake pads in there. I'm gonna pull the caliper, the sliding part of the caliper towards me, take some force. This will empty the cylinder inside the caliper, the cylinder room. It's full of old fluid, which won't necessarily come out this way. So I'm just going to fully compress the piston. It's gonna like take the room in the compressor room and push every old fluid out of the room. It may take some force, but check how the fluid is flowing. Whoops, not on the floor, please. There you go. Did you see that? Yes. I believe now the reservoir is the reservoir. I mean, the cylinder room is empty now, and this it's really making sure the old fluid is gone. By now I'm finished. I just need to tighten back the this way. You'll see how much tight I do these bolts. It's I don't believe you need to tighten this like it's a suspension bolt, and that might be the reason why oftentimes those bolts get stuck actually. Almost done. Okay, now let's not keep this clean. Alright, it's all there now. Now that you've emptied, and especially if you're doing all 4 wells, but even for just one well, I just emptied the piston room. So when the car will start and you depress the pedals, well, you will need fluid to fill those piston room now because they are empty now, perhaps on all 4 wells if you did them all. So what you need to do is just start the car, start the engine, leave the car, don't move it, put it in park, press the brake pedal and open the reservoir cap and check the level. The level will go down because you are taking fluid from the reservoir to fill all 4 cylinders pistons room. So the level will go down, top it up right away. Don't drive without it. So now let's try to tighten this nip. At this moment it's not tight. Now it starts to be more taking more force, and I just want to have it snug like this. Really not much more than that. I don't think it's gonna open by itself while driving, and the reason is the valve is closed inside, so it needs to turn a few turns by itself for the valve to open and to lose fluid. So I never tighten it more than that. And of course you need to put this back. Let's see, to put the let's not forget the small cover cup. And the way I put this back is like it goes like this. I start with one hole here, put it behind. Oops, so do it yourself on the spring actually. That's one. Let's try to do another one. These small tabs go behind this part of the caliper. Now the other pin, so it goes all behind there. The other pin, that's pin, just it's a little bit hard, but it will click. Just nailed up. So don't forget to check again the level with the engine running, and after depressing the pedal, don't let the level go below the minimum so you don't get air in the system again, and fill it up, top it up before you leave with the car, before running the car, before moving the car actually. Here's a small tip how to refresh faster your brake fluid. This is the reservoir and the hood, and usually when you open the cap you'll see this filter. Filter is secured by this pins, a couple of them. Anyhow, it's not exactly easy to remove it from there. I got it with using both on one side a knife like this and pliers to pull it, so the knife goes on the other side of the filter. So well, it's a bit notched on the lip. Anyhow, so this actually just want to say you need to close all bleeders before doing this. Make sure no impurities goes inside the reservoir. Don't drop dust or whatever. So you may just put a small tube inside to the bottom and suck the fluid and let it drain in the bottle located at a lower level.
So this helps a lot with not having to pass all these through the brakes, and also helps with not getting air in the system because the bleeders are closed as now. So you just remove the fluid from the reservoir, you refresh with fresh fluid, you fill it up, and then you blade the bleeders at all 4 wells.